Okay, so today we are going to solve chapter 13 of surface area volume, and we are going to solve exercise 14.7, which concerns with the volume of a cone. Okay, now all the problems that I'm going to do ahead are referred from Ncert CBSE class 9th maths textbook, and for an accurate precision, blue in color, so you could refer it more easily. Okay, so today we are going to start with we are going to do 4 questions, namely the first question, the second question, the third question, and the fourth question. Okay, so let's start. So the first question states that, okay, the most important statement that is given here by our exercise is assume pi to be 22 by 7. Now pi could be any value. It can be 3.14, 22 by 7, but in most questions they give you pi is equal to 22 by 7, or they give you pi by 3, pi is equal to 3.14. Okay, so find the volume of the right circular cone with radius 6 centimeter, height 7 centimeter. So this is the first part of the question, and secondly radius 3.5 centimeter and height 12 centimeters. Pardon. So let's draw a figure. So when you draw a figure, it will help you through the question. It will not only make you understand the question, it will also help you in calculating, because if, say for example, you missed height or you missed radius, it will help notify you or remind you that this is the thing that you have missed. So let's draw a cylinder, or let's say a cone, because in this exercise you are doing cone. So it can be upwards also, it can be downwards also. So in this exercise I'll go with a cone that is down. Okay, so sorry for the delay. I will draw a cone. Cone somehow looks like your party hat, which you wear when you are a toddler, 5 or 6, and you used to go to your friends' birthday parties. They would give you this hat, which looks silly now. So radius is 6 centimeter. This is an irregular circle, but assume this as to be a circle. And when you have a circle, this from the center to the edge of the circle is known as r, radius. So this also is known as r, and this is known as slant height, or simply L, and this is known as the height, h. So in this question they have mentioned height is 7 centimeters. Okay, so they have mentioned that height is 7 centimeters. So this will be equal to 7 centimeters, and radius is equal to 6 centimeters. So radius is equal to 6 centimeters. Then we look if the units are equal or not. Centimeter and centimeter are equal, because it would have been centimeter and here it would have been meter, then conversion needs to take place, but in this question it is not. So let's move ahead. We will solve this question. Okay, so the first part of a first question, we will draw a cone. So once I've drawn a near perfect looking cone, we will enter the dimensions. So this is the center, this is the radius, and this is the height, which is equal to 7 centimeters, and our radius, which is equal to 6 centimeters. Now it asks that find the volume of the right circular cone. Right circular cone basically means that it is 90 degree from here. Okay, so volume of a cone is equal to 1 upon 3 pi r square h. Okay, so if you have memorized your formula enough, you would not have any doubts solving surface area volume problems. If you have not, then please do, because it's very dangerous and lethal if you don't remember formulas. So 1 upon 3 into pi, it is 22 by 7, or it could have been 3.14, but the question states unless that 22 by 7 should be referred as pi. So r square is 6 into 6 into h is 7 centimeters. So 7 ones are 7, 7 ones are 7, 3 ones are 3, 2 3s are 6, and we will calculate the sum. So 44 into 6, so 44 into 6 will be 264 centimeter square, because 264 centimeter cube, pardon. So like that, if you make any mistake, that you assume that the unit of a volume is square, you will get a big half, you'll get only half marks. So I'll write 264 centimeter cube, because the unit of volume is any unit having a cube at the top. So we will move on to our next question. I will clear this. The second question says that radius is 3.5 centimeters and height is 12 centimeters. So let's move ahead. First part, on the second part of the first question, we will first draw a cone. Please do not forget that. So once again, I've drawn a near perfect cone and we'll enter the dimensions. So here also we'll take the center, and center to the edge of the circle is known as R, and from the top of the cone to the center of the circle is known as height, which is, and because it is a right circular cone, which means it is a 90 degree or perpendicular to the radius. So this is known as H, which is equal to 12 centimeters, and R, which is 3.5 centimeters. So write the formula first. Never forget to write the formula. So volume of a cone is equal to 1 upon 3 pi r square h. Okay. So once you have written the formula, all you have to do is substitute the values. So it is 1 upon 3 into 22 by 7 into r, that is 3.5 into 3.5, into h, which is 12 centimeters. So 1 3s are 3, 4 3s are 12, 1 7s are 7, 0.5 7s are 3.5, and by solving this big sum we get the answer as 154 centimeter cube. Don't forget to write the units, and we move on to the next question. So our next question states that find the capacity in liters. Capacity basically means volume. So volume and capacity are synonyms, they are the same word and definition. Find the capacity in liters of a conical vessel. Conical vessel basically means this, with water in it or whatever liquid the question mentions. So radius is equal to 7 centimeter, and thankfully they have written slant height 25 centimeters. So there's a difference between slant height and height when you take a big cone, pardon, and this is a very weird looking alienish cone. So from the center to the tip of the cone, this is known as the H, which is height, but this is known as slant length or slant height. So I'll refer to this as slant height. Or it can also be written as L. Okay, so back to the question. 7 centimeter radius, as I've told you before, this is a radius. We'll try to solve this question without any further delay. So this is the second question, and we will first draw a cone, because drawing a figure is the most important part of the question. Okay, so once we have drawn a figure, this is known as the height, this is known as the length, and this is known as the r. A small formula to bear in mind is L square is equal to H square plus R square. So according to the theorem, it's like H square is equal to P square plus B square, that is hypotenuse whole square is equal to perpendicular whole square plus base whole square. So this is the perpendicular, this is the base, and this is the hypotenuse, and this will be the final formula which you have to remember, and therefore we'll calculate the volume. This is the first part of the second question, which is known as Pythagoras theorem. This is known as the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so in this question we have been given slant height, which is L, and we are being given R, which is 7 centimeters. L is equal to 25 centimeters. So therefore this simple formula you have to memorize that L square is equal to h square plus r square. So by this formula we will be solving the h because it is not given to us, and it plays a viable and reliable source, because when we solve the volume of a cone, which is 1 upon 3 pi r square h, if h is not given to us, then the sum cannot be solved. So without any further delay, let's solve the question. So 25 whole square is equal to h square, which is not given to us, so we'll assume it as h square, plus r square, it is given to us. Therefore 25 whole square minus 7 whole square is equal to h square. Therefore whole root 625 minus 49 is equal to h. Why? Because this square came to the LHS and 25 whole square became 625, because 25 into 25 is 625 and 7 sevens are 49. Okay, so this answer will be 576 whole root centimeter is equal to h, which will be equal to 24 centimeters. So this will be our h, and then finally with the help of h we will be solving the volume. Okay, so let's erase this. Okay, so volume of a cone is equal to 1 upon 3 pi r square h. Great. So let's substitute the values. So 1 upon 3 into pi, 22 by 7, into r square, 7 into 7, into h, which by Pythagoras theorem we have solved it as h, which is equal to 24. Okay, so 8 3s are 24 and 7 1s are 7. So therefore, so by this solving this enormous sum, we get 1232 centimeter cube. Okay, now in this question they have mentioned that find the capacity in liters. We have to solve the capacity in liters. So that is radius, and by slant height 25 centimeter we have already found out the volume, but I have found out that means that we have found out the volume of the conical vessel in centimeter cube, whereas we have to solve it in liters. So let's do that. So 1 centimeter cube is equal to 1 meter cube is equal to 1 ml. Therefore 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. So can I say that 1 liter is equal to 1000 centimeter cube? Please memorize this analogy, and by this we are going to convert centimeter cube into liters. So this will be 1232 divided by 1000, which will be 1.232. And not forgetting the units, we get the answer as 1.232 liters. Okay, so let's move on to our next part, which is height is 12 centimeter and slant height is 13 centimeter. Slant height is L and height is H. So the only thing that is missing from this question is R. So we have to find R by the same formula. Okay, so let's erase this. Okay, so this is the second part of the second question, and this is the H, this is R, and this is the L. L is slant height. So by the question what is given to us is that slant height is given and height is given, whereas R is not given. So R we'll assume as R. L is equal to 13 centimeters and H is equal to 12 centimeters. Great. So volume of a cone is equal to 1 upon 3 pi r square h. But before I solve this equation, I will first find h, because I'll first find r, because in this formula 1 upon 3 pi r square h, if I don't have the r, the sum will not be possible. The calculation we solve will not be possible. So by this formula we will solve our r. So L square is equal to h square plus r, therefore 13 whole square is equal to h square. Now thankfully h square is given, which is 12 whole square, but r is not given, so we'll assume it as r square. So 13 whole square minus 12 whole square is equal to r square, which is equal to root 169 minus 144, which is equal to root 25 is equal to r, because this exponential power came to LHS and become root. So root 25 is equal to r, which is equal to 5 centimeter. So finally we have solved our r, which is 5 centimeter, and we will erase this calculation. Hope you have noted it down. And by the formula of 1 upon 3 pi r square h, we will find our volume of a cone in liters. So 1 upon 3 into pi, which is 22 by 7, into r square, which we have calculated and have found that it is 5 into 5, into h, which is equal to 12 centimeters. So 1 3s are 3, 4 3s are 12, and we solve this big sum and we get okay. So by solving this big sum, we get 2200 divided by 7. But for the sake of direct calculation, this is centimeter cube. So for the sake of direct calculation, we will multiply this, we will divide this by 1000, so that it directly gets converted into liters. So finally, when we divide it by 1000, we get the unit as liters. So if we rewind a bit, the sum, the calculation, the answer to the sum is 2200 divided by 7 centimeter cube. Okay. But when we look at the question and we look what is required, it is saying that the thing that is required is liters, not centimeter cube, not meter cube, only liters. So we will go back to the question, and by the analogy of 1 meter cube, 1 centimeter cube, or 1 liter, 1 liter is equal to 1000 centimeter cube. So therefore 2200 divided by 7 centimeter cube, if you have to convert it into liters, you have to divide it by 1000. So let's divide it by 1000. 2200 upon 7 into 1000, so that it get converted into liters. And finally its unit will not be centimeter cube. If you have added 1000, it will be liters. As simple as that. And then when we finally solve this question, we get goes. And then when we, so I'll do this again so that there is more ease of your understanding. So when we divide it by 1000 to make it convert into liters, so therefore 2200 divided by 7 into 1000 liters, because its unit will change. So 2 zeros cut, 5 2s are 10, 11 2s are 22, 7 5s are 35, therefore 11 divided by 35 liters will be your final answer. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, so our second question is done, our first question is done. We move on to a third question, and in this question it specifically mentions that use pi is equal to 3.14. So as I've said to you before, in certain questions they will ask you that pi is equal to 22 by 7, as here they have mentioned that pi is equal to 22 by 7, and here they have mentioned that pi is equal to 3.14. So keeping that in mind, we go ahead. The height of a cone is 15 centimeter. Now slant height and height, as I've told you before, slant height is this. This is the slant height. This is the height. Okay. So height of a cone is 15 centimeter. This is the height. If its volume is 1570 centimeter cube, find the radius of the base. We have to find the radius. Use pi is equal to 3.14. Okay, this is a very simple statement and we can solve this very easily. So look at the question. We will move on. So I'll erase this. And let's move on to a third question. And the most important part is that you please draw a figure. Please draw a figure. It will help you in solving a problem. So once we have drawn a near perfect cone, we'll enter the dimensions. So this is the center. This is the R. This is the H. I'll write it more clearly so that there's better clarification. This is the H. This is the R. And in this question, we'll see what is given. So height is given and radius is given. Height is given and volume is given, pardon. So all we have to do is find the radius. Okay. So to find radius, we will apply our usual formula of pi is equal to, volume of a cone is equal to 1/3 pi r square h. As simple as that. And then we'll substitute our values. 1/3 pi r square h. Okay. So 1/3 into 22. Please do not make this mistake. Okay. Because in this question it is specifically mentioned that pi is equal to 3.14. So if it has mentioned that pi is equal to 3.14, it has done it with a reason. It has not done like time pass. It has just, given that pi is equal to 3.14. So keeping that in mind, I'll write 314 divided by 100, because 314 divided by 100 can also be written as 3.14 into r square. We do not know r, so we'll assume it as r square into h. Now h is given, which is 15 centimeter, is equal to the volume, which is 1570 centimeter cube. Now we take this whole value and this whole value, excluding this, to the other side, that is, we take it to the RHS. Okay. So finally r square is equal to 1570 into, the fractions will get reciprocal, so into 3 into 100 divided by 314 into 15. Okay. So 5 and 3 5s are 15, 1 5s are 5 and 4, and this cuts, and finally the answer is 100. R square is equal to 100. We take the square to the other side and it becomes r is equal to root 100, which becomes r is equal to 10. Do not forget the unit, and it will become centimeter, because we are finding the value of r, so the unit will not have any exponential powers on top of it, so it will be 1. This is our final answer, and we move on to our next and final question. If the volume of a right circular cone means if there's a cone like this, so the height will be perpendicular to the radius, so this will be a cone, right circular cone. If the volume of a right circular cone of height 9 centimeters, 48 pi centimeter cube. Now whenever you see 48 pi centimeter cube, please do not simplify this value as 48 into 22 divided by 7. Do not do that. Okay. So 48 pi centimeter cube we leave as it is. Find the diameter of its base. So first, by the formula of volume of cone, we will find the radius, and radius plus radius, that is 2r, is equal to d. Okay, so let's solve this final question without any further delay. And this is our fourth question. Please draw the figure. Don't forget to draw the figure. So once we have drawn a near perfect cone or a birthday hat, if you might assume it to be, so this is known as the L, but here it is not important to us, so we'll ignore this part. And it is a right circular cone, so the height will be perpendicular to radius. From the edge to the center of the circle, it will be a right circular cone. This is known as R, and this is known as H. And by the formula of a cone, of volume of a cone, that is 1/3 pi r square h. Volume of a cone, always write the full statement. We substitute our values, so H is equal to 9 centimeters. Okay. R is not given to us, we have to find the diameter. We'll find that later after we have completed solving for R, and we'll substitute our values. So 1/3 into, we'll see if it has referred that pi is equal to 3.14. No, so we'll assume it as 22/7. R square is not given to us, into H is 9 centimeter, is equal to 48 pi. We'll leave as it is. So 22/7 and pi will get cut, because 22/7 is also pi, and pi goes here to the RHS, gets divided by pi and gets cut. So that leaves us at 1/3 divided into R square into 9 is equal to 48. So 3 3s are 9, and R square is equal to 48 divided by 3, which is equal to 16. So therefore R is equal to root 16. Therefore R is equal to 4 centimeters. Now if you might be wondering, if you even think that my question is over, please do not think like that, because read the full question first, read the final statement first. The final statement is find the diameter, because if you don't refer to the diameter, you'll just solve the radius and go ahead and you'll not get the full marks. Find the diameter of its base. So base is this is known as a base. So let's solve the base. So 2r is equal to d, 2 into 4 is equal to d, therefore 8 centimeters with the unit is equal to d. So this is our final answer. So this is the end of today's lecture. Hope you enjoyed this video. Stay home, stay safe, and bye.